All right, today's guest needs no introduction. You guys all know him. It's UConn head coach Dan Hurley. So, coach, thanks for coming back on this year.
Good to be back on, Jared, and I hope the year ends the same, man. We started the season last year with this, so
Exactly. I mean, if I can help in any way I can, I'll see what I could do here. We're just about under a week here until the opener. Give me gut feeling at this point in the season. In the preseason here, your feelings on the team at this point.
well, they're mixed. I think until you start playing games, I think you're coaching with a certain level of let's say paranoia, or just looking at all the things that your team isn't, because you're in large part kind of preparing for like the worst parts of your team to be exposed. So I think your mindset really up until getting a couple days out from the opener is like kind of more like a training camp mentality that we're coming out of right now, which is like go harder, not good enough, not tough enough, not sharp enough, not connected enough, to now, as we get closer to the opener, start trying to build your collective confidence up of the group. But going into an opener with a lot of new players and young players, and having lost some really great veteran players, probably not as sure as what it's going to look like on Monday.
As you go into the season with those feelings, you also enter the season with very high national expectations this year. How do you manage going into a season with expectations like that? Because I know in your past years here, there have been expectations, but not necessarily to the level they're at heading into this season.
Yeah, I just think as long as you're an individual, the expectations that I put on myself, the expectations I put on the staff, the expectations I put on the team, the players, the organization, they're higher than the externals. They certainly are with this team, because with a healthy Donovan, and with these young guys being able to help us this year, these freshmen in particular, we could set our target on trying to accomplish the biggest things that you could do in college. So, I don't, that's never a problem, I think, here for the people that coach here and play here, because we're focused on, trying to win the Big East championship. And like, if we have a day in practice that doesn't match that, it's not going to sit well.
Fans coming out Monday, maybe seeing your team for the first time, weren't at the scrimmage or first night, now get to get their first look at this team over these first couple games here. How is this team going to differ on the court from what they saw last year in terms of style of play out there?
Yeah, I think from an identity standpoint, I think that really until the offensive improvement and evolution with last year's team, what always stood out about our teams were just physicality, how hard we played, just the way we rebounded the ball on both backboards, just our intensity. And I don't know that that's exactly where it's been in the past. Either through the types of players we're recruiting or our style of play. I don't think that you'll notice that first. Maybe you'll notice, just a more fluid, an offense that looks like it's ready for the season to start. I think we've worked really hard at the offensive end of the court with this group, and it showed in our close scrimmages with the way we performed, minus turning the ball over. So, I think right now we're trying to find that defensive edge, that toughness edge, that leadership. But it looks like a group that could be a very high-powered offense, especially when Donovan's in there.
I love the preseason video series you guys have been doing, and in one of those, you're just barking at guys to be lions, be dogs. What does that mean to you, and what are you looking for when you're saying that to a player?
It's just like an extraordinary competitive will, an ability when you come in here as a coach or a player, and practice is about to begin, or games about to start, or you're about to lift weights or do an individual workout, that you become a different person. You become just a completely ruthless competitor, and bring an extraordinary level of energy and enthusiasm, to your passion for what we're all doing together. This is like 11 months a year, Jared, and like we sacrifice a lot with you sacrifice a lot with your family,
Yeah.
and any type of personal life when you commit to sport, like at this level. So it's like, you better be a dog. I mean, you better want it at a level that normal people can't understand.
As you look towards the roster that you have this year, and I know you've referenced the big three you had last year, now the big three you're working towards this year. How are you feeling about that group from a leadership perspective as you head into the season in just a few days?
Yeah, I just think, that we're well positioned with, I think we have a 4 and 5 combination with Alex and Donovan, that, that would, you'd be hard pressed to find, a better combination at the 4 and 5 than what those two guys potentially bring
Yeah.
to the table. And then with Tristan and Cam, I think you got two older guys, that have scored a lot of points, that have a lot of experience. In Tristan's case, he only won the national championship. In Cam's case, he's a really good, really good two-way player, with a lot of maturity and a lot of traits that we admire with his intangibles too. So it's like, we returned the big three, and then we added Cam and another veteran. So, I think it's a great four, to put out there.
Yeah, when you look outside that four, I know a name that you look at what UConn social media is like. Everyone's a buzz for Samson. It seems like no one really knows what to expect. I haven't seen him play a ton. Give everyone a little bit more fodder there in terms of what to expect from him this season.
Well, I think part of Samson's, 2 years here was like freshman year. We had a loaded front court. And we've exclusively tried to play him at the four. Now, part of it was a lack of physical strength, but part of it was, the way that we envisioned playing him, and so that's year one. Year two, he has a very good preseason and plays very well in the close scrimmages, but then he suffers the injury early in the opener and misses a ton of time, and kind of the team formed, and it was impossible to try to get him back into the mix. So I think playing center, body's developed. I just think it's the perfect position for him in modern basketball. For whatever he loses in low post, strength and physicality, he just gives you a complement to Donovan as a movement center, and as a much different type of center player that could give us, a 1-2 punch again at center, which is, when you got a 1-2 punch at
Yeah.
center, it's devastating.
Another guy that seemed to be highlighted in the last video series you guys put out, and another guy that's a veteran player is Hassan Diarra, and it seems like he brings you some good leadership. He's a vocal guy out there. What are you seeing from him and what he brings to this team?
Yeah, I mean, we need him desperately this year. When we talk about, trying to do the things we're trying to do, players like Hassan Diarra being better than he was last year for us is like critical for us doing that. We need a veteran guard, like off the bench, to come in and stabilize and be a pest defensively, and make enough, good open shots and not turn the ball over, and just give us quality minutes. And and he's got a big personality, and I think this team, in some ways, lacks in personalities like we had last year. So we need him.
It, as you've been around the game a while as a head coach, you've been through a lot of freshmen. What are you seeing out of this class so far that's impressed you about this group?
Well, I mean, Steph is again, we're watching his clips yesterday from the Harvard close scrimmage. And he had made some typical freshman mistakes that could cause you to lose games, like getting back cut and not knowing where the ball is on defense and staring at the ball while your guy's on the offensive glass and not blocking, like that, turning the ball over. So like these things are like typical with staff that are a problem right now that we're trying to coach out of him. But his physical ability is impressive. I mean, no, just his ability to get on the court and make an impact right away. I mean, he's by far the best freshman that way for us. He's physical. He's really good off the dribble. His shooting is not going to be a problem. He's easily a double figure scorer, and I think that's what makes that starting group so so dangerous. Is I think that you could have 5 double figure scorers that start.
I'm going to take a quick break from the interview to tell you about my friends at Martin Rosol's Meats. This fourth-generation Connecticut family business produces kielbasa, hot dogs, sausages, and deli meats using Martin Rosol's very own original recipes. Their products can be found in grocery stores, delis, restaurants, and hot dog stands throughout the state. And if you're looking for your fill right away, check out their retail store in New Britain. For more information, visit martinroselsinc.com and go support a UConn fan-owned business. And now, back to the interview. Kind of go through this roster, just going down the list here. You mentioned Tristan earlier, and I know he got a lot of flack last year for UConn didn't really have a point guard, and he proved everyone wrong clearly. How are you feeling about him heading into this season, increasing that role as that guard and leader of the team?
He's going to get, Tristan's going to get an opportunity for everything that he came back here for. I think last year he probably doesn't get enough credit for the success, and and I don't think criticism was exclusive to him. I think we all get it here when it's not going well. So I think he's over that aspect of that external noise. The table's set for him. He's got to prove this year that he could be the driving force behind a team that goes and wins the Big East championship, gets to a Final Four, wins a national championship. He proved that he could be a really good player on a national championship team, but prove now that you're an all-conference player. Prove now that you could be the driving force behind that team. And with him, it's engagement. It's personality. It's being ready to go. It's playing every possession at your absolute best, and that's what we need from him this year. One thing I love about college basketball is watching these guys really grow and develop. So, especially from that first year into the second year, and you've got 2 of those guys with Alex and Donovan. How big of a jump have you seen them make, from where they were last year to where they are heading into this season? Yeah, I just think the confidence level from just what they were a part of, what they contributed to it. When you play in front of 75,000 people and play great basketball, it's like the confidence that you get from that, I think for both guys is enormous. And they both love to play. They fit into our culture here. They're just, they're gym rats. They're all about UConn. They're bleed blue guys. That are all in. I think we all, with me, they think the same things I think. They say the same things I say. And every aspect of their game is improved. And again, similar to Tristan, now they get a chance to show that they could be the leading men. Yeah, as you head towards the start of the season here, I know you've had some intense practices. I know we saw a picture of you hobbled in the corner of the floor. How you feeling? You fresh heading into the season here? Yeah, I mean, that was a particularly draining practice. I think that was maybe like the ring ceremony. We had a lot of recruiting going on, ring ceremony that day. We practiced on the women's side that day. And I just think obviously during the off season, it was a different type of off season for us, more recognition, more celebration, but we I think we were smart when there were opportunities to take some small pockets of time off as a staff. We did it. When the players weren't on campus and there was no recruiting going on, we recharged the battery. And I mean, we all just love our work. I mean, we're all just basketball people that just love being a part of this cult that we're in. Like this isn't a team for us, man. This is in our minds, like UConn basketball is a cult. So it's not exhausting, although you want people to see, parents of the kids you're recruiting, parents of the players you're coaching, send a message to the staff, send a message to everybody that you should feel that way by the time work's done. You should be exhausted.
Oh, you still having some time to get some painting done and relax a little bit?
You know what? I've been just mostly conceptualizing Tom's painting, Tom Moore. He's been sad in a way with Kamani got a painting, Luke has got a painting. Tom's been with me longer. He's been here for 3 national championships now. He knows everything here, Mr. Tolland. He wants his painting, so I'm early stages of that
All right.
project.
All right. I've got some other fun ones here just to kind of wrap things up a little bit. I know you're a big reader. Best book you read in the off season.
Mm. Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning.
Yeah.
Again in the summer, because I was feeling, just after you win the championship, kind of there's a little bit of an emotional bankruptcy too, a cliff you kind of fall off. So I needed to get back to like purpose driven. So I reread that, and that had a good impact.
There you go. I know one of the fun things you guys got to do this off season was take that trip overseas to Europe, and I know one of the best parts about going to Europe is the food. So, what's the best thing you ate overseas there?
Um, the paella, I would say in Barcelona. It's nice seafood paella.
Right, there we go. I know it's a big one Sunday night with the Bills and the Bengals there. Bengals starting to turn the corner. How you feeling there?
Joe Burrow, I mean, if when he's healthy, it's he's one of the best 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the NFL, and incredibly well coached. They got really the front. I mean, they're talented up and down the roster. I mean, they look like they're going to be there again.
I'll end with this one. I know you've said that a lot of the celebratory things from last year have come and gone, and now it's on to this season. But there still is one more, and that'll be Monday night when that banner's raised at Gamble. You'll have the place packed. Hopefully, no one's got their flannel on and in the blue and white there. I'll plug that for you again. What's it going to feel like being on the sideline there? Being a part of that and really seeing that all truly come to an end and then kicking off the next season.
Yeah, I just think, Jared, the timing of a lot of these things is and don't get me wrong, like UConn has made it easy, made it look easy to win national championships, but you look across college basketball, it's not an easy thing to do. So and it's not a lack of appreciation for it, but for me, it comes at a horrible time. Like the last thing that any of us are thinking about, players, coaches, Luke, who has the scout, or like is what we did last year. So we've tried to minimize our role in it as much as possible, and I hope that the fans aren't offended or the athletic department here, but we've just tried to minimize our participation in the banner raising. I think like, half that team's not here.
Yeah.
Let the fans enjoy it, let the students enjoy it, let all you guys enjoy it. I just want to be in the locker room getting ready for Northern Arizona. And then I'm sure I'll look up at it during the anthem and quickly say, wow, that was pretty cool. And maybe post game, I'll crush a beer, and look up at the banner. But yeah.
All right. Well, Coach, I really appreciate you taking some time as we head towards the season here. Hopefully, this does the trick again for you, and we'll have you back on next year again, and we'll have some fun with it. So, thanks so much, as always. Appreciate it.
Sounds good, man. I wanted to be able to make an appearance on the our Alex Caravan's podcast too.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We'll have you on for one.
Oh, this
Yeah.
was big. He's on here, right? This is on.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've arrived as a coach. If I could get on anything that AK's on.
All right. All right. We'll work that out. We'll get you back on. We'll have Alex on with you. And if you need me to pump him up in any way, let me know. I'll do what I can as a fellow podcast co-hoster with him to get him going.
All right, Jared, man. Have a good winter.
You do. Thanks.
Later.